NBC News foreign correspondent, is not. She joins us from Greenland's capital. Molly, what can you tell us about the sentiment there ahead of the vice president coming up to Greenland?
Well, first off, I'm very glad I'm not going to be here for 10 days at the end of January. I think it's a little bit toastier than it would have been a couple months ago. But it is well below freezing this morning. And I got to tell you, when the vice president, the second lady, the energy secretary, Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, Joe, and the whole high-level U.S. delegation head to the Northwest, it's going to be way colder up at that space base. But after a week of intense political pressure, both here and from officials in Copenhagen, the Greenlanders we've been speaking to in Nuuk, it's cold, speaking to a Nuuk, say this new scaled-back visit is something they can actually live with. Take a look.
This morning, the much-anticipated, much-talked-about, and now much-scaled-back trip to Greenland officially underway. Vice President J.D. Vance, the second lady, along with a delegation including National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, took off from Joint Base Andrews this morning.
We need Greenland for national security and international security, so I think we'll go as far as we have to go.
On their way to the remote northwestern corner of Greenland, home to Bitufik Space Base and the 150 U.S. military personnel stationed there. The trip, originally billed as a cultural exchange, now a limited national security-focused mission. Greenlandic Member of Parliament Kupanik Olsen says any relationship with the U.S. must be about collaboration.
If you met the vice president, J.D. Vance, what would you say to him?
I would say, please do not take us. We are open for negotiations, but it should be on our behalf.
The heightened interest comes as competition in the Arctic is heating up.
There's just much more activity in the Arctic these days from Russia and China. The U.S. should have a growing presence there.
Russia's President Putin speaking at the Arctic Conference Thursday, reminding his neighbors that President Trump means business, saying everybody knows very well about the U.S. plans to take over Greenland. But this morning, after pushback from authorities here, the uninvited American visitors wouldn't be coming after all.
What did it feel like when they pulled out?
Relief, I think. A lot of people, the shoulders could let go.
Anders Larsen runs a water taxi company here in Nuuk.
We've always looked at America like the nice big brother to help you out. And now it's like the big brother's bullying you.
Now, Joe, the most recent polling that we could find was back in January, possibly around the inauguration, but about 6% of Greenlanders say they would actually want to be American. I imagine, and we don't have the polling to prove it yet, I imagine that number has changed just in the last couple of weeks. A lot of people we're speaking to, they're like Anders, who was just in our piece, that water taxi founder and CEO, who says he respects America. He has always loved looking up to America, the American dream. They want American tourists to come here. They want to collaborate on business with America, but they don't want to be American. And interestingly, that MP we spoke with as well talked a lot about how she kind of didn't realize maybe how much value they had here. They said Greenlanders are kind of waking up that actually, if the U.S. is so interested, who else might be interested in doing business as long as it benefits the people here, Joe?
All right, NBC's Molly Hunter, go inside. It's cold out there. Thank you so much. Live in Greenland, Molly Hunter. So let's talk about what's going on here. Why is Donald Trump? We've heard about minerals, shipping lanes. Why is Donald Trump so interested in Greenland?
Well, and has long been, right? Mentioned it during his first term. Right. Surprise to many of us who hadn't thought of Greenland as being, a targeted place for the United States. But rare earth minerals increasingly important with the kind of technology we're now producing. Melting ice caps opens the door to some additional shipping lanes that become important not only for trade but also for security. We know Russia has focused a lot of attention on Greenland as well. So it makes a point that Greenland has interests that are important to the United States. It probably doesn't make the point that we are in a position, though, to make it yet another state.
Right. Talk about when you were up there, what you learned about why this was, again, so important to Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, it is a legitimate strategic target if you want to think about it. I mean, for all the reasons that Susan just mentioned. And so I don't think this is all about Donald Trump's sort of manifest destiny here. But I do think that he likes size. He likes the idea that you can look at a map of what the world looked like and what America basically controlled before and after he came in. So I think that's important to him from a pure ego standpoint. But I also think, look, they're part of NATO, right? I mean, Denmark, NATO. And I'd be shocked if they did anything more aggressive than what the rhetoric has been, just because you're basically going after, you know, the rest of NATO, which could be very serious very quickly. But the police that I talked to want no part of this. I mean, they were, I think, sort of amused at first, but right now don't want to go any farther.
All right. Chris Matthews, Ali Vitale, Mark Leibovich, and Susan Page, thank you all. Greatly appreciate it. And coming up.